Close your eyes and take a deep, slow breath as I prepare to tell you the gently story of Mars. Feel the stillness around you, the quiet space between your thoughts. Imagine a soft, rust-colored sphere, hanging peacefully in the velvet black of space. A deep, silent red, like a quiet ember. That sphere is Mars, the fourth planet from the Sun. It hangs in the cosmic void, a solitary world bathed in the distant light of a far-off star. Tonight, we'll take a slow, peaceful journey through its history. A story that begins more than 4.5 billion years ago, when our solar system itself was just a swirling cloud of dust and gas. At that time, all the planets, including Mars, were forming from tiny microscopic grains that clumped together, drawn by the gentle, whispered pull of gravity. Imagine the sight, a cosmic ballet of particles, slowly, patiently coalescing. Over millions of years, those clumps became larger and heavier, the soft whispers of gravity becoming a steady hum, until they formed rocky worlds. Each planet settled into its own careful orbit. One of those worlds settled into an orbit just beyond Earth, in a colder, thinner stretch of space. That world was Mars. When Mars was young, it was not the dry, dusty desert you might picture today. In its ancient dawn, its surface was warmer, and scientists believe that rivers of liquid water, vast and winding, flowed across its plains. In those early days, the Martian atmosphere was much thicker, like a soft, comforting blanket, holding in the sun's warmth. Clouds, perhaps like soft watercolor paintings, floated in its sky, and sunlight sparkled off shallow seas. The air would have been a gentle breath against the skin, and the sounds of moving water would have echoed across the vast, open land. We know this because we can still see the traces today. Winding valleys that were once riverbeds, and minerals that can only form when water is present. If you let your mind drift, you can almost picture it. A soft, pinkish sky, reflected in the calm waters of a sea. A gentle breeze moving through the thin, early Martian air, and the quiet, steady turning of the planet under a salmon-colored sky. In that era, the sun would have felt warmer on the skin, and a sense of vibrant life, though not yet human, would have been palpable. This was Mars in its youth, a planet with a pulse. Over time, however, Mars began to change. The cosmic forces that had shaped its beginning would now slowly, quietly, unmake its vibrant youth. Gradually, over millions of years, it lost much of its atmosphere. The reasons are still a mystery, a silent question whispered across the stars, but many scientists think it had to do with the planet's smaller size. Its gravity, a little less powerful than Earth's, wasn't quite strong enough to hold on to the thick air. The magnetic field that once shielded it, a fragile protective bubble, may have faded away, leaving the planet open to the solar wind, a stream of charged particles from the sun that gradually swept the air into space. Without that thick atmosphere, the warmth began to fade, and the seas quietly, patiently disappeared. The liquid rivers dried, leaving only ghostly channels and long, winding canyons carved into stone. The once full sky turned the pale gold and dusty rose we know today. It was not a sudden catastrophe, but a slow, gentle exhale. The planet simply grew quieter, a vibrant child settling into a peaceful, silent old age. The last drop of liquid water evaporated into the void, and the last wave lapped against a silent shore. Mars settled into this quieter phase of its life, wearing the colors of rust and sand. Volcanoes that had once poured molten rock across its surface went silent, their fiery hearts cooling over millennia. Yet their shapes remain, enormous mountains, far taller than anything on Earth. The largest, Olympus Mons, rises nearly 3 times the height of Mount Everest. Its slopes are so gentle that you could walk from base to summit without ever feeling a steep climb, as if you were walking up a vast curving hill that never seemed to end. Imagine standing there, a solitary figure on a planet of your own, looking out across a horizon that curves beneath a pale pink sky, with the faint sun shining far away. The silence would be profound, broken only by the distant whispers of the wind. And then there is the Grand Canyon of Mars, Valles Marineris, a vast, yawning scar that stretches for thousands of miles, deep enough to hold the tallest skyscrapers many times over. It is a testament to the planet's powerful, silent past, a cosmic whisper that became a tectonic roar. These great features tell the story of a planet that has been shaped by fire, wind, and the inexorable march of time. Now Mars is still. Dust storms sometimes sweep across its face, soft and silent from afar. They can grow so large they cover the entire planet for weeks at a time. But from space they look like gentle swirls of golden mist, a beautiful and transient tapestry woven by the Martian air. For centuries, humans on Earth have looked up at Mars and wondered. We have told it stories and given it names. In ancient Egypt, it was known as the Red One, its color glowing like a fiery ember in the night sky. To the Romans, it was the god of war, perhaps because of its deep rusty hue, a color that reminded them of battlefields and blood. The ancient Chinese called it Huo Qing, the fire star, and the Greeks knew it as Aries, a name we still associate with its moons. Yet, for all its fiery associations, Mars is a quiet world, its deserts hushed, its mountains patient. Over time, telescopes revealed more details. Polar caps of frozen water and carbon dioxide, changing with the seasons, dark markings that shift as the winds move dust across the surface, and a thin atmosphere that whispers more than it roars. In the last century, we have sent visitors, not people yet, but robotic explorers. The Mariner probes, the Viking landers, the rover's Spirit, Opportunity, Curiosity, Perseverance, each one a small mechanical traveler, slowly crossing the silent surface. They have taken photographs, measured rocks, and tasted the air. They have sent back the faint sound of wind moving across a barren plain, and the sight of a sunset that glows blue instead of red. Imagine sitting there on that rocky ground, the cold air brushing past, the sun dipping below the horizon in slow, calm silence, and the sky turning a magnificent, soft blue. The sound of the rover's wheels, a faint metallic crunch, would be the only rhythm on a planet where time seems to stand still. And Mars has moons, two tiny companions named Phobos and Deimos. They are not like Earth's moon, they are much smaller, shaped like rough stones, and they circle Mars quickly. Phobos orbits so close that it rises and sets twice in a single Martian day. If you were there, you could watch it hurry across the sky, casting faint shadows over the rust-red ground, a quiet cosmic spectacle that happens with a steady, peaceful predictability. Deimos, the father moon, moves with a more leisurely pace, a patient, distant companion in the darkening sky. The story of Mars is still unfolding. Beneath its surface, ice lies hidden, locked away in the soil, and in frozen layers near the poles. Some scientists believe that deep underground, in places shielded from the cold and radiation, there might still be tiny forms of life, bacteria perhaps, clinging to warmth in the dark. It is a gentle mystery, a quiet hope. Others dream of one day stepping onto its soil, feeling the crunch of dust beneath their boots, and looking back at Earth, a pale blue star far away. To stand on that ground would be to touch the history of two worlds at once, the red dust of Mars beneath your feet, and the beautiful distant blue home where your story began. For now, Mars waits. It has waited for billions of years. Through the birth and growth of our solar system, through the rise of oceans and the fading of its warmth, it spins slowly, completing a day just a little longer than ours. Seasons come and go, shaped by its tilt, and the winds sculpt patterns in the sand that no one is there to see. In the quiet darkness of space, it continues its steady journey around the sun, as it always has. So tonight, as you rest, you might imagine drifting there, floating above the canyons and mountains, watching the planet turn beneath you. You might picture its soft, dusty colors, and the shadows stretching across its plains. The history of Mars is long, but it is patient. It tells its story not in hurried words, but in the slow shaping of rock and the gentle settling of dust. The gentle, steady rhythm of the planet is a quiet lullaby in the darkness. And now, as you let your breathing slow, you can let Mars fade into the distance. Picture it becoming smaller and smaller, just a warm dot against the dark, until it too is quiet, still and far away.